So here's what I want to put out. If this is a serious conversation about African-American people, then why not every candidate put in writing how will their candidate in the future, not what they've done in the past, in the future, deal with the wealth gap? How will it close the wealth gap? How will it deal with the health care gap? How will they deal with racist voter suppression and gerrymandering and expanding access to the ballot? How will they deal with the disparate ecological issues in our communities? How will they deal with militarization in our communities? How will they deal with mass incarceration, resegregation of public schools? How will they increase the number of African Americans in the federal court appointees and increase the number of African Americans in the Senate? And what is the strategy to go after the Senate that is truly holding up progress for poor and low wealth people of every race, creed, and color? Put it in writing and then change the next debate to be about nothing but the issue of systemic racism and poverty, and not just how racism affects black people, but how it undermines the democracy. For instance, every state that is a racist voter suppression state is also a state where once the people who use racist voter suppression get elected, they then block policies of living wages, block policies of health care, and end up hurting more white people in terms of raw numbers than black people. So let's have a full, thoroughgoing debate on these issues. Every candidate needs to say, now, if my policies, this is how it's going to impact the black community. This is how it's going to impact the rural community. This is how it's going to impact the Latino community. Let's move deep, deep, deep into policy and put that out there. And I believe if that happened, you would not just see a percentage of black votes turning out that then folks say, well, they got 60% of a vote that may have been only 40% of the total black population, but we will see an increase in the number of participation and a building of alliances. But I also know, finally, the political system is not going to do that. It's going to take a movement, and that's why the Poor People's Campaign, a national call for moral revival, is engaged. Reverend